Once upon a time, there was a Zen master who was known for his wisdom and insight. One day, a student came to him and asked, "Master, what are the 5 kinds of people I should avoid in life?" The Zen master thought for a moment, then said, "There are 5 kinds of people you should avoid. 1. The person who is always complaining. This person will only bring you down and make you feel negative. 2. The person who is always gossiping. This person will spread rumors and lies about others, and they will eventually do the same to you. 3. The person who is always negative. This person will see the glass as half empty, and they will never be satisfied with anything. 4. The person who is always trying to control you. This person will try to tell you what to do and how to live your life, and they will never let you be yourself. 5. The person who is always trying to get something from you. This person will only be your friend as long as they are getting something out of it. If you can avoid these 5 kinds of people," the Zen master said, "you will live a much happier and more peaceful life." The student thanked the Zen master for his advice, and he took it to heart. He started to pay attention to the people he was spending time with, and he made an effort to avoid the 5 kinds of people that the Zen master had warned him about. The student's life soon began to improve. He was no longer surrounded by negativity, and he was able to focus on the positive aspects of life. He was also able to be more true to himself, and he was no longer afraid to be himself. One day, the student came back to the Zen master and thanked him again for his advice. "I have been following your advice," he said, "and my life has changed for the better. I am much happier and more peaceful now." The Zen master smiled and said, "I am glad to hear that. Remember, the 5 kinds of people I told you about are only a few examples. There are many other kinds of people who can bring negativity into your life. It is important to be aware of these people, and to avoid them as much as possible." The student nodded in agreement. "I will," he said. "Thank you for your wisdom, master." Moral of the story. The 5 kinds of people that the Zen master warned the student about are just a few examples of the many kinds of people who can bring negativity into our lives. It is important to be aware of these people and to avoid them as much as possible. If we can do this, we will be much happier and more peaceful. In addition to the 5 kinds of people mentioned in the story, there are many other kinds of people who can bring negativity into our lives. These include people who are always criticizing us, people who are always trying to make us feel guilty, and people who are always trying to start arguments. It is important to be aware of these people and to avoid them as much as possible. If we can do this, we will be much happier and more peaceful. We will also be able to focus on the positive aspects of life and to be true to ourselves. The Zen Master's advice. The Zen Master's advice is simple but profound. If we want to live happy and peaceful lives, we need to be careful about the people we surround ourselves with. We should avoid people who are negative, controlling, or manipulative. Instead, we should surround ourselves with people who are positive, supportive, and encouraging. It is not always easy to avoid negative people. They may be our family members, our coworkers, or our friends. But it is important to remember that we do not have to be friends with everyone. We can choose to spend our time with people who make us feel good about ourselves and who help us to grow as individuals. If we follow the Zen Master's advice, we can create a life that is filled with happiness, peace, and joy.